Welcome back. In this video we will learn about variables in Java. Variable is a container in which we can store some kind of data. Data could be a number, could be a text, could be an integer. So how can we store data? First of all, we need to create variables like this. For example, integer a or any name you can give it. For example, there are different data types in Java, and those data types are integer, strings, floats, doubles, boolean. These are the most important data types in Java. For example, you want to store a number like 1 or 2, 3, number like this. Then you are going to select the data type, which type of data you want to store. For example, you want to store a number, then you should go for integer. And when you want to store an integer number that has a point with it, for example 10.3, 4.7 and something like that, then you should go with floats. That is called float number in Java. And when you want to store some kind of text like welcome to Java or something like that, then you should go with strings. And when you want to store a float number but a very bigger number that is out of the range of floats, then you can use doubles there. You can create that variable of type double. And boolean is something that contains only true or false. If you want to store data like true or false, then you can use boolean data type. So these are all the data types in Java. There are other data types, but they are not primarily used. Most important and mostly used data types are these 5 data types. So we have covered all of them. Now I'm going to create variables and store data in them and demonstrate this whole process. So first of all, I've created an integer and I'm going to assign it, for example, 10. And then I will create let's say I created an integer, but let's say I assigned it or stored in it a type of text like hello. Then what happens? Let me execute this program. As you can see, it says hello world.java at line number 10 the error occurred, incompatible data types. String cannot be converted to integer. That means that we are storing string type of data inside an integer. We can't do that. That's a syntactical error. So what we can do is we can store number in it. For example, we can store 10, 20, 30 and number like that inside a, and then we can print it like this, 10. Here we go. So in the same fashion we can create other variables like float b is equal to 10.0 f. This f is important. This denotes that it's a floating number, and if there is a double number, we will use d here. So now I can print both of these. I can print both of these using plus operator. It's also called concatenation operator. It is used to join two values, but in here, as these are not strings, so it will add both values. If I write here a plus b, then it will add 10 plus 10 and it will print 20.0. and here you can see it has print 20.0. So next I'm going to create another variable of kind of double d is equal to 20.0d. and you can also print the only double one. So here we go, it is printing 20.0. you can see there is not much difference in both of these, float and double, but the difference is that, let me explain you the range of these. Range of float data type in Java. It's a 32-bit number, means it's a 8-byte number, and it can maximum store 2 raised to power 8 number. So here is the range of this is actually double. So here is the float. It's a 4 bytes number, and its range starts from there to this, from this negative number to this positive number. Alright, or you can say that this positive or negative number, and you can see the range of each and every data type here. But if you see the range of double, it's of 4 bytes and it's of 8 bytes, means it is double to that of float. It can store double bigger number than of float. So this is the concept which I wanted to demonstrate. So next I'm going to create a string. With a string is created with S capital, so I'm going to create a string and name it str. For example, I'm going to store in it, for example, and then I'm going to print str. Here it is showing that it expected a semicolon at the end of statement, but I missed that. So alright, so these are the most important variables and data types in Java. You can do any mathematical operations on that. For example, you can say that double result is equal to a steric b plus d, and you can print the result like this. In str you can store a text like a result, and there you can print it like this, str plus, to concatenate or merge two strings, and then I'm going to give a space here, and again plus, and I'm going to give here the result. As you can see, it says result is 120. So you can do any mathematical operations. You can store these types of data in these variables. If there were no variables, how can we do that? We can do that like this. For example, we would have done this like this: 10 steric 10 plus 20, like this. Its result will be same, but the difference is, if we again want to use these variables, for example in any other point we also need these variables, then what we can do, we would have written this data again like this. Is it a better approach? No, it's not better approach. This is called hard coding in programming languages. This is not what we should do. So we have to use these variables because these are required in programming languages to be used, and when we take an input from user, we have to store that input to use at some other point. We can not directly place that input inside our print statement. We don't have to use every time print statement, we can use anywhere else. So that's it for the variables, in the next video we'll learn other stuff and other concepts of Java. Thanks for watching this video. See you in the next.